Will Justice, what's happening, bro?
I can't hear shit. I can see that someone's talking though.
Okay, I can hear you.
Let's I'm gonna redo this.
Let me know if you can hear me. We do a little sound check before we start.
Anyway.
Can you hear me, Will?
I can hear you now. I had to redo this. I had to redo it.
Okay.
Sometimes that StreamYard like it'll make it so I can see that you're speaking, but I can't hear you. So yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to get the background noise together. So yeah, we could just dive right into it, brother Will. What we were talking about earlier. I don't think he can hear me. But anyway, to all the listeners out there, give thanks for tuning in to Real Radio Talk. It's been a while. So tonight we want to bring a very interesting topic about hip hop and the origins of it. So we'll just wait for the guest co-host to get his side together, and we'll begin.
Who else is supposed to see coming?
Okay, so we can basically get started because I think that hip hop topic, who created it, where it came from, that's been on the airways for a minute now. Everywhere I turn, there's a conversation about it. You know, so we was talking earlier, and I was saying to you that I heard people saying that it's hip hop origins is Puerto Rican and Jamaican, and all these different falsehoods. So yeah, let's just we could just talk about what we was talking about earlier and start that.
All right, so I'm gonna get metaphorical here, kind of like I'm gonna ask a stupid question. So, when you gave birth and you had your child, was there other people in the room with you?
My mother and the doctor and the nurse.
Did your mother give birth? or the nurse give birth to your child?
I did.
So, because they were there, they didn't give birth, but you did,
Yes.
and they were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the subject. That's it. Yo,
Right. Podcast over, right?
I mean,
Just
it's like, come on now. Like, man, listen, but what was really funny though, like they can charge you for an accessory or something that you planned, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you like say you was with somebody, they hopped out your car, you were driving, they hopped out your car, they went around the corner, you didn't see nothing whatsoever. But they come back to the car, calm, sit down. You didn't see him with a mask on, nothing like that. You and they didn't show you no money, no nothing. You drop them off to their next destination, right? And they try to come and charge you like as being a part of a robbery, and you're like, well, hold up, I ain't robbed nobody. What you talking about? Like, oh well, you picked him up, you dropped him off, you picked him back up. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I did all that, but I had no idea what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? So they can't charge you in that, like in that right there. You would have to have knowledge of it first, right?
mm-hmm.
To know what was happening, and you was part, like, don't say you was part of the planning of it, and then you saw, like, because in the other part, if they sat there, hopped in your car, you were like, hold on, what's going on? Like, yo, you did you just do something? And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, hurry up, let's go. And you'd be like, nah, get the fuck out of my car. I'm not part of that shit. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, that's how people was treating us. We don't want no parts of that. Fuck out of here. Nah. Yo, that's that trash right there. We ain't got no parts of that. Now all of a sudden that's popping. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, we was there. Yeah, we have part in it. Really? Yo,
Yeah.
really? Yo, that's what it seemed like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, you was there. And then like we even had people in the beginning who was trashing it and saying, like, yo, it's only gonna be a fad. It's only for right now. I'm gonna exploit it for right now to get some money in my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and some of them even like that was their whole attitude. It was just like, oh yeah, when it got cracking a little bit, when it was like more popular, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of this. Yeah, this is what's up. I'm gonna run me a couple of parties and stuff like that." But it wasn't about, "Well, I have love for this and this is part of my culture. This is what people like right now. So I'm gonna get in on it." I'm gonna give you another instance. I'm gonna bring it more modern. How many people did you see selling masks during the scamdemic, during the pandemic?
A lot of
You
people was doing it.
I mean, do you really think those people was like, you know what? I could really help people.
No,
You
they was
know,
trying-
I,
they was making some money themselves too.
I'm saying though, same difference. Same difference. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff with some different styles on it. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yo, listen, and for everybody who sat there is like, well, the mass help. Really, they helped? So you mean to tell me the most deadly virus in history that was gonna kill us all, right? Unless you got like a stab, right? Because everybody's dead right now, right? People who was people who was sitting there like with a piece of cloth on their face that I mean is a piece of cloth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much you want to sit there and say how much a filter it was. Like, yo, I'm gonna tell you just like this. If something was so deadly in the air that was gonna kill us all, and like even the people that it did get, like they would sit there saying, like, oh, well, if you have pre-existing conditions, it makes it worse. All right, so we're not gonna sit there and say that the virus ain't real. This shit is real. They made it. They know it's real.
Exactly. Exactly. No
All
one.
right.
I don't think anyone will be arguing if it's real or not. We know it's real because people literally still dying from it.
I
But
mean, we know
it's real enough for somebody to make it, and it was made. Yeah.
exactly. So we ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, it was a scam or it was not real or not. No, it was actually real. people is still dying over it, but
Getting
like
the
they actually
vaccine
created it.
is a hoax because you're gonna if you get the shot, there's people still dying, even when they got it. There's
Well,
people
here's
who
the
didn't get the shot and they died. So if you get
people
the
are
shot and you still get COVID, then what was the purpose of you taking the shot? Why you just didn't build up your immunity? Because it's all about building up your immune system. Maybe there's something lacking in your health chart that made you be so prone to catch a virus like that. You know what I'm
dying.
saying? So I know people that got the shot, and 3 years later, they ass got COVID. 3 years later, they got COVID, or
And
even
they're like, we never said that it would
three
prevent you from
months
getting it.
exactly, and even
We
three
never
months,
said it.
people were getting COVID.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a
But
whole
you took
hoax.
the vaccine, so if you took the vaccine, why are you still catching COVID? Mm.
But that wasn't even a vaccine. They can't even legally call it a vaccine. What they were saying, like they'll say, that's why they started calling it a booster. You notice that? They
Hmm.
start to stop calling it a, because if it was an actual vaccine, it would have actually contained part of the virus, which was like, how a vaccine works. But
How it
you
really
talk
works,
so
right?
non-scientific. You got to know Moderna is in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
Literally, how you spell that shit is mode RNA. That's how you spell Moderna. Anyway, and last time I checked, that's not Erna. You know what I'm saying? RNA. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Mode RNA. It's how they spell their company's name, and it's in Massachusetts. But anyway, that whole stem cell shit has been being studied for not very long, but they knew what they was doing when they did what they did. You get what I'm saying? They're literally creating people, making people chimeras. You're no longer um fully human, I guess, is the way that they want to make it so that they could justify doing certain shit. But it's kind of crazy for me when people sat there and had these masks. Though I'm gonna go back to that. They weren't sitting there and going, "Well, you know what? People are buying these masks in droves and stuff like that, and I really care about people's health, so that's why I'm gonna do this." They said, "I can make some money doing this."
Wow.
Some of those people were sitting there so stupid. They're like, um, they put "this is not a mask" on a mask, like, and it was so stupid, and people were actually buying it because it was funny. It was like ironic. They had people running out here with monkey faces. They had people running out here with uh, uh, uh like cartoon characters, all kinds of things, like, you know what I'm saying. And whether they are effective or not is, stands to argue, but whatever, because I know people that ran around, mask on, all that other stuff, and still ended up getting sick. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep. Exactly.
because come
Yeah.
on, what was really crazy is that in the beginning it was funny as hell that you would see the discarded, like, temporary mask thrown on the ground with the gloves, and they just threw them on the ground.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, so you mean to tell me all that stuff went to the landfills, right? How many of these people who worked in sanitation was getting sick?
It
Because
probably was.
remember, all those things were going in the regular trash, right?
Hmm.
Super deadly thing that was going to kill everybody, right? But how many of these people would actually get it sick? Now, I know I'm asking too many logical questions. I'm probably upsetting some people right now by saying that, but also real stuff. All right, you get yourself a mask, right? And you're laundering it, and even if you have like the insert, take in, take out, right? If you're not keeping your own mouth clean, you can literally, if you're not brushing your teeth, make yourself sick by wearing a mask, and you have some internal issues, like, you know what I'm saying? That
Yes.
even the, so it's like, less oxygen intake is going to affect your thinking. I mean, if you know any athletes, and like, breathing is really important. You know, your oxygen intake is very important. You know, so it's like when people create these masks, they didn't sit there and go, "Well, I need to make a mask that makes sure that the people are getting the oxygen intake." I mean, So basically, it wasn't the substance of it that mattered to them. It was just the fact that they could sell a product. They use the product in order to make money. That's how like pretty much everybody outside of our culture operates. Like they see something that we're doing that's popping, is cracking, like, yeah, I'm gonna get in on that. I'm gonna get some money. You know what I'm saying? That's the name of the game.
Hmm.
That's their MO. That's what they're gonna do. That's the whole focus and the point of it. We're not gonna sit here and act like, you know what I'm saying, they came into it as a purist where they're like, you know what, I'm gonna preserve this culture because this culture is so significant. They wasn't serious about it. They just like, yo, I can get a couple of dollars. Like real deal. That's what it is. So if they was a part of it, I mean, most of the time they was doing it for the money, not for the love of it. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, because it turned out to be like a coronavirus.
Man. Now let's talk about this right now too. A lot of what is being put out nowadays is not hip hop.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's where a lot of the confusion is coming from as well.
It's like,
Exactly.
come
The
on now, it's not.
the essence of hip hop, we don't see that no more. The
Nope.
real what hip hop was originally built on, the liberational part of hip hop. You understand what I'm saying? The true cause of what originated it in the first damn place. We don't
Mhm.
see that right now. And if we do, it's small pockets of artists doing it, and they're not really in the mainstream airways for us to hear about them. They're not
And I got
they're not really properly promoted.
a shout out to some of the people that I've spoken to personally. You know, Professor Griff, Brother Jay at X Clan.
Mhm.
Listen, all right. I'm gonna even because even though what do you call it? Khaled said that he Ice Cube melted on him,
Why
but
you say that?
Dr. Khalid Muhammad was part of the culture. You know that like he had some songs with Ice Cube.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, you gotta look that up.
I never
Sister,
knew that. I'm glad
Sister
I know it now,
Soldier, yeah, Sister Soldier. It's like, you know, some of the people that they ain't gonna promote because they would sit there talking about that, like, you know what I'm saying, the extension of, and I don't know if the hip hop culture in itself, some of it was very militant,
though. It was.
very militant. Like we wasn't going for none of this shit. We not that, you know what I'm saying, love everybody crowd.
Right.
And it was like, and that's okay. Because end of the day, was really funny to me. Just about every genre has been whitewashed. R&B was our stuff. Look, like, you know what I'm saying, blues itself, jazz was us, rock and roll was us.
Exactly.
They name country.
Yeah.
Country was us.
I know.
Yo, like, hold up. When you say electric guitar, what do you think of?
I could think of Rosetta Tharpe.
Okay, so you know a couple of people, but the invention,
She
uh,
is the original rock and roll, not Elvis. She is.
but the electric guitar was invented by who now?
Rosetta Tharpe.
No, it was a black man. A black man invented. I can't remember his name, but a black
Oh,
man
yeah, I know what
invented
you're
the
talking about.
electric guitar.
Yes, yes, yes. I got you. I can't remember either. Let me see if I can look it up real quick while
Come on
you're
now.
speaking about it.
Now everybody sit there. You hear electric guitar and you think rock and roll. That's that white boy shit, right? A lot of people,
Mhm.
but the current state of what rap is right now, all this drill shit right here, they love that shit because they're saying like, yeah, them motherfuckers talk about killing each other. Let me
Yeah.
put, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me put out a song called Drill the KKK. You know what I'm saying? Let me put out some shit about drill. drill the Nazis. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, let me put some shit out about like, yo, all these societies that's formed against us in order to like literally straight it down, just exterminate us. There's gonna be a problem, but us saying do ourselves in, oh, that's good. Go ahead, go, yo, keep doing that, bro. Yo, that's what's up. Keep, yo, matter of fact, you want another couple million real quick? You get in that studio, and yeah, all that kill each other shit is what's up, man. Just get up in there. You know what I'm saying? We gotta pay your producer. But none of
Mm-hmm.
that true school stuff, none of that true school stuff. It's like they be trying to sit there, be like, oh, it's corny. I got some dudes on my social media right now. Dude is freaking straight flames. He is not no fucking lame ass dude spitting some shit that's like, on some old dumb shit. And it's like,
What is he talking about?
oh, hold up, I'm gonna have to find this dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, um, this brother be sitting there going, Locksmith is one of them. You know about Locksmith, right? This dude is like, he's out there doing this shit. And this other brother, man, I can't remember his name, but I have to find some of his shit. This dude be even calling out that fake ass bullshit. Like, come on now. We know that a lot of this stuff is smoke and mirrors, and that's part of show business and all the other stuff like that. And people have an image, and then literally, um, Lupe Fiasco is one of the ones who came out and sat there and said this shit. He was like, "Yo, listen, bro." He started out as trying to be a gangster rapper and
Mm-hmm.
rapping about gangster shit. Then he just said, "Fuck that. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna start being a little bit more authentic. I'm gonna go in and start doing shit." But he's also said some real dumb shit, real coon shit. But like, it is what it is, though. When he started being a lot more authentic, that's when motherfuckers started really feeling what he was saying. Like, he had a big following, all that other shit like that. So I'm giving shout outs to people who like, actually, more modern, but like still kept like, the hip hop mindset of being like, saying about education and everything like that. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
specifically,
Excuse me.
dumb it down. That freaking song in itself explained to you what was happening in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, it's like, yo, you just got to listen to the lyrics and dumb it down. I'm not gonna repeat shit. Find it.
Right.
And Bad Bitch. When he sat there and said that, like, come on now. It ain't the song ain't what it sound like. The song, you think he's talking about a bad bitch? That's what you think he's talking about? Uh-huh. Yeah, all right. Well, go look it up. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out yourself. I mean, and it's like it got clickbait qualities. Does it? Of like, does it of this newer age of saying something that's a buzz term, and then once you get into it, you're like, oh shit, this is something completely different than what I thought it was gonna be. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It is like, if that's corny, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody elevating themselves to past the point of what you've been told to be. Come on now. Because that's the like everybody said, the missing element of hip hop is what? Knowledge. You have to have something that you were saying. You're not just doing shit just to be doing it. It's not party up all the fucking time. And not it really ain't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. There's no substance to this new so-called hip hop or rap, drill music, gangster rap. There's no substance to it. It's just all regurgitated, in a different voice with a different beat, with a different group of girls in the video or a different car you're driving. It's the same old rhetoric.
Well, they commercials like real deal. That's why it's called commercial music. It's commercials.
It's
And when in
definitely
a
a
commercial,
recording
you're
artist.
selling a product, right?
Yep.
You're not telling me they may not be directly funded by like, what I'm saying, illicit substance, like people. They may not be directly funded. Back in the day, what's really funny is that back in the day, the dope boys used to give the dudes who was trying to do something different with their lives the money to do their studio time to get away from the life that they was living. They wasn't encouraging them, hey, come do this bullshit with us. You know what I'm saying? They're like, go do something else, my dude. Because this
Exactly.
ain't it. this shit ain't it. Like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They never
I've heard
glorified this
those
shit.
stories before too. I've heard those stories. I've heard stories where crackheads used to tell the young dudes, like, man, I'm not go back to school. I know your parents, I know your grandparents. I'm not even buying no crack from you. Go back to school. You got your whole life ahead of you. You don't even look right out here selling no drugs. And he obviously took her advice because he's doing good, you know? Took the crackhead's advice. But even though she was a crackhead or even though they were alcoholics, they still had that sense of communal in their heart. You still a community to me. You still mine, even though I didn't have you. I know your parents, I know your grandparents, and I see you taking a road that you don't need to take. You just trying to fit in because you think that that's the cool thing to do is sell drugs because that's what everybody is doing. But no, I'm telling you to go back to school. But we don't have even that elderly advice. Even though the person was on drugs, they were still able to
Oh, I'm,
see
I'm
that this youth is wasting his life and said something about it, didn't just sit back and say, oh, look at such and such grandson or such and such son. He out there selling drugs. Instead of talking about him, she went there and schooled his ass. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm Mr. Listen, you better reassess the life you're trying to live right now, because I got plenty of people that like I don't have people tell me I had to change this lighting situation. Hold on a second. Like tell me like, listen, you saved my son's life by doing what you did to him. I'm like, what do you mean? Because that really wasn't sometimes it wasn't my intention. It wasn't me trying to change tell them to change their life, right? It was me not really liking the way what they was doing and handing out a consequence, you know. And then there has been certain times where I've been like, yo, bro, yo, you really ain't built for this. You need to like, go do something else. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's one of those things. Like, some of us is out here like that. Like, you know what I'm saying, was out there like that. And I'm like, you know what, bro, I see you getting worse. You know what I'm saying? I see you catching worse, my dude. So you need to stop. Like you need to quit it. Like immediately. Like just like because this ain't where you really are in your life. Like you're not this person that you trying to project yourself to be. You're not. You know what I'm saying? And I mean you had some dudes out here who was trying to tell us like we wasn't going nowhere and all other stuff like that. And it's like, bro, you can't tell me that when you ain't doing that for yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere, my dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, what was
You see
listening
what
to
I'm
the
saying? You see the difference?
like who we was listening to was the ones who was actually like, prospering and making something of themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
those dudes, it was just like when they was doing what they was doing, they was sitting there telling us like, yo, gotta have yourself an exit strategy. This ain't supposed to be your whole life.
Right.
This
Exactly.
ain't supposed to be like the only thing that you do, and it's the only thing that you are. You have to make
Oh, sorry.
your way out of this situation. Like, yo, put your money to the side, get a legal hustle, handle that business, and then once you get to a certain point, don't come back to this bullshit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And let's talk about this though too. That's not spoken about too much, but sometimes in the hip hop community, we know that the drug rap didn't become popular until COINTELPRO got involved, and they said, "Yo, listen, we're gonna popularize this shit because they're the ones who put the drugs in our neighborhood in the first place."
Hmm.
But and to hear the rappers who actually say that shit promoted in the mainstream. Come on now. I'm gonna use Dead Prez as an example. It even freaking Jay Z participated in the song 20. The number, remember the song 20? Yo,
What was
they
it you
talk
said?
about, you don't know the song 20, but what do you call it? Dead Prez? It was a bonus track, matter of fact.
I probably do. I gotta hear it again. I haven't heard them in a long time.
I mean, every time they come to
How
the
does it
bean, I
go?
got, you know.
But how does it
Um,
go? You said.
it's a song 20. This the song just the number 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they explain how shit gets here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like it's a whole story. That's the truth. Ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no lies about it. They ain't gonna sit there and put that on no regular platform. Come on now. Even though one of their biggest songs is bigger than hip hop, it's bigger than hip hop. Hip. A lot of people ain't paying attention to the fucking lyrics of that song. All they hear is hip hop, hip hop. They're saying it's bigger than hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But because of the beat, it was just like that was what people was fixated on. They not listening to the message that they say it is bigger than hip hop.
exactly, exactly. You know, and
These
it's not just picking up the mic. It's also a culture. It's something that you live. You know what I'm saying?
man,
It's something that started in a geographic location and then expanded and expounded when other people from other cultural backgrounds came and contributed. I would even give it just that little bit of spice, just contribute it. But when you contribute something, you still don't own it. You can contribute to my organization, but you don't own my organization. You know what I'm
right?
saying? So that's why I try to just use that word real lightly, you know, because
And
anything else will be saying that they helped create and they didn't help create. And I think this is where the problem is coming because every time an African and American invention or something like that comes to the surface, someone else is always trying to say they did it too. Well, if it wasn't for this, that wouldn't have been that. But we're still forgetting about that root, you know, the
since
seed.
since I am a creator, right? And I'm gonna put it to you just like this: like I'm a creator. I've watched my nana from when I was a little kid. Um, sew dresses and shirts and pants and suits and all the other stuff like that, dolls, everything like that. She put it together. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's her own original creation. Sometimes she'll get a template, she'll cut it, cut it out, sew them together, and it's like she used that template, but she's the one who actually put together. I mean, now we go to the fabric store right now, right? I got a piece of fabric right there. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the things that I didn't make. I didn't make that. That's not mine. That's the fabric that I got from somebody else. I put it up there.
Yeah.
Somebody else created that. However, I did create that. Here, this right here. I did create that. I did create that. That right there is my creation. Like these things are the things that I created, and I commissioned somebody else to make them for me. All right, they put it on machines, but like I actually created that stuff on my phone.
Hmm.
So the person whose factory I created in, is it their creation?
No.
I mean, I'm the one who put it together. I'm the one who thought it up. Like, say I use a certain pattern and I said, listen, I'm gonna use this and put it in my colors. I'm gonna do that. Like, come on, I got a whole bunch of stuff I could pick up and put right up on the screen. This hat, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I created this. Like they'll say this is what I did.
Right.
I I didn't make like I had sent it out to somebody else. Um, what's attached to my hat? This joint right here. You know what I'm saying? This is fire.
Hmm.
It's fire. It's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The
In my,
flame.
you know what I'm saying? It's the flames. I created it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I commissioned
Well,
somebody else to make it for me.
exactly. I get you. I know. Well, I was listening to the Breakfast Club a while ago, and Spice was on there, and she said that she was telling Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy that hip hop come from dance hall.
As many, all right. So here's the
And she
funny
had
thing
the
about
nerve
it.
to say she had the nerve to say to Charlemagne the God or Charlemagne, did you know that? And he says, no, I didn't know that.
Well, he's a lame anyway. We
He was
don't
supposed
call
to
him.
check her. He was supposed to check her right there at the driveway. He was
Nah, he
supposed to
ain't go.
check her right there at the driveway. But when you limited of knowledge and you try to portray that you are not, but you really are, you will let somebody come on a program like the Breakfast Club and say that, and you don't even have no defense for
Well,
the
he's a
culture,
weak ass dude
for
anyway.
the
So what
culture
you
that you
expect?
claim you're representing, and you're trying to be the guru of the community, like Monique told him when she went on the Breakfast Club and flamed his ass, like those flames on your clothes you just showed me, okay? Inflamed his ass.
Yeah.
It's just that when you have a time to check people on mistruth and you don't do it, that leaves the door open for ones to think, oh, well, it must be true because he didn't even say it and he claimed he hip hop, he claimed he this, he that, he didn't even defend it.
Come
Envy,
on now.
Angela
The dude
Yee,
that,
none of them.
listen, he let a dude that can't
And
that
Spice is regurgitating what she heard. She said it just like she heard it, and she's repeating it. That's exactly how it sounds when she
hold
said it.
up. Here's the shit though, right? He let a dude who kissed another dude in the mouth come up on there and check him.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Charlamagne had nothing to say. Talking about
Had like,
um,
and for me, like, hold up. First off, if you, like, I'm not saying you gotta be about that life or nothing like that, but when Beanie Siegel went up in there, he sat there and told him, he was like, "Yo, you part about this life? All right, so I can't give and make you live by the rules that we live by. You can have your opinion about it, but we live by these rules. You don't, so you have no say so here. You know what I'm saying? Stick to your shit."
I think I saw that interview.
He's like, "Find something safe to do,"
Yeah,
and that's something that,
he did it.
listen.
He did it kindly and brotherly. I like how he did it, and Charlamagne still didn't get it. He still got offended
Yeah,
because
but it's like,
he could have said more, but he didn't want to he didn't want to embarrass him.
but the thing is, he embarrasses himself. Like anybody, yo, this dude literally said the words "white Nubian queen" one day. What the fuck is a white Nubian?
I'm telling you.
Like, come on now, like there's certain level of trolling. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
So
I know some people might be saying some shit just to get a reaction, and like, yo, some shit is like, all right, well, that was some clown shit right there. Like, come on now, bro. That was some real fucking clown shit. I know he really didn't really mean it, but
he
even if he
probably
did,
did.
no, he didn't mean that shit. He was trolling. Like, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
He was definitely trolling, but like, just to say some shit like that, knowing that it was gonna get some backlash. Come on now, like, you know what I'm saying? Us hoteps out here, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You know that he had some sort of like little bit of knowledge of what the fuck he was saying,
yeah, he was
and that's
instigating.
knew
Hmm.
it was gonna get reaction. I
Yeah, he
mean,
was instigating.
of course, he was expecting a backlash because, there's no such thing as bad press, a bad publicity. People are talking about you. That's gonna generate views and streams and all that other shit like that for people. Like, for you to go on somebody's shit just to tell them you a motherfucking clown, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You took time and energy out of your day to go to their platform to tell them some shit. Well, you recorded their shit so you can record your shit, and you're giving them attention.
Yeah, no.
That's what they need in order to stay relevant. Like, I know I'm in the presence of a woman, not a hoe, not a bitch. There's a difference because these dudes is hoes and bitches too. But
Oh wow, you crazy.
if you want to kill a hoe, start paying attention to her.
True.
No attention means,
It takes
yo,
time
like,
to get that attention going.
no energy. Like,
Mhm.
you ain't get no energy.
Exactly. There's no current. If you're not going after her, then there's no current generating. There's no attraction.
Please, please, like, and I say this shit. I know sometimes I be contradicting the fuck out of myself, but I'm gonna call it exactly what the fuck it is. Like, listen, on my Facebook, you've been on my Facebook for years. I got hoes on my shit, but you got to understand, like, with us, we men, like actual real men, you entertainment. You not soul food, you eye candy. You are here to entertain me. That's it. Don't get it fucked up. And I'm not a trick. Like, don't get it ever get it fucked up. I was raised in that fucking game, like, but I don't participate. You know what I'm saying? It is
Right.
what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm far from a pimp, but like at the end of the day, like, yo, I was raised around this shit. I know the game. You know who taught me the game? Mostly, more than the pimp did, the hoes did.
Gangster.
They told me how y'all operate. They told me how they operate. Yo, catch you looking, you done. You already like don't say you already lost. Caught you looking.
Yeah.
Whereas you go about your day, minding your business. That's why like they'll say something foul to you, looking for that what do you call it? Looking for that little bit of attention. Like, but also from my nana, if somebody yells bitch loud as hell in the back of a room, whoever turns around acknowledges that's their name. That like because if you ain't a bitch, then why you answering? Why you
Mm-hmm.
looking? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't your if it ain't your business either, then why in people business? Or you want to see some
Right.
drama?
Exactly.
Eh, like, yo, if it ain't my business, it ain't my business. Someone say bitch, I'm gonna just laugh a little bit because I'm like, uh-oh, some shit about to go down probably. You know what I'm saying? It's probably just people arguing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Cause that ain't me. I ain't you didn't call my name. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny as hell. Like it's true to this day, man. Them hit dogs, they holler.
Yes, they do.
Yo, if you throw
And
like in that where that comes
they
from,
will throw rocks and hide their
if you
hands as
throw
well.
a crowd, now I'm saying if you throw rocks in a crowd of dogs, right? The only dog that's gonna cry and holler is the one you hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one that's gonna cry and yelp. That's where that saying come from. Because if it's a crowd of them, you know what I'm saying, the one that didn't get hit ain't gonna say ain't gonna bark, ain't gonna it didn't get hit.
Yeah.
You might look at the dog that got hit and be like, "The hell's wrong with you?" Like,
Right.
but real deal, like,
So
I
tell
mean,
me
and
about.
let's call shit what it is.
Okay.
That this, like, when we talk about cultural things, right?
I was going to tell you.
Things that are cultural.
I was going to ask you to finish telling me about the conversation you that KRS-One was having about African Bambaataa, and
Oh,
maybe I don't know if he ever spoke
oh,
on the origins of hip hop either, but I'm sure he's going to try and say it's Jamaican too, right? Because his parents are Jamaican.
well, he never like you never heard him say none of that stuff. Like, but you mentioned Booty Bambata. I thought you were talking about what we was talking about earlier. Like, why didn't
Yeah,
he
on
address
that
that
too.
shit? I mean, because for me, like he hung out with us. Like he comes to Boston all the time. Like he actually did a whole album on a weekend one day. Just decided to go up in the studio and fucking make a whole album. I got that shit. That shit was, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, it's fire. But like when the allegations came out against Booty Bambata, why did he not make the straight but down statement of, listen, I don't know if he did it or not. He just said, I'm not having no conversation about it at all. He should have sat there and been like, listen, whether it's true or not, I don't know if it's true, or even if he said, yeah, um, I'm not going to comment on that situation because it might be a sensitive subject or everything like that. But I'm going to say this, if anybody did some stuff like that, it's not right, it's wrong. We need to
Yeah,
condemn it.
Yeah.
This is a problem. Yo, if
See,
you
that's a
you know what I'm
natural
saying, if you
hmm.
no, because you got to like, you have to condemn certain shit, like real shit. We not with none of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You find out somebody in your crew is doing some shit that he ain't supposed to. You gotta still be part of your crew. I'm saying though, like real deal. Are we
And
just
you too.
condoning everything?
And that guy, Hassan, he is off the bonkers. He is weird. He was just in the Bronx and in the middle of the project screaming at nobody, just screaming early in the morning, and people telling him to be quiet, shut up, throwing bottles at him to get him away. Then he ended up getting shot driving away from the place. Then he's in the hospital recording himself, talking about he got shot. That's all you could do. That's all you can do. And it looked like he stabbed himself or something. It didn't even really look like a penetrating bullet hole. Then he shows the bullet. It's just this guy is like really psychologically
Oh,
messed
so it
up.
probably he probably really didn't even get shot, is what you saying?
That's
Saying
what
he
people
made up the story?
That's what people were saying. They was like, I don't think he really got shot. He looks like he stabbed himself with a pencil and just got a bullet from somewhere and crushed it and made it look like, see, this is the bullet they took out of my arm. Because maybe like a few hours later or the next day, he's on another live talking about that's all y'all could do, just one little shot. That's it. That's it. It's like nobody's shooting at you. Nobody's after him. What is he saying? He went into the middle of the projects in the Bronx River talking to nobody early in the morning, screaming and yelling.
Yo, well, maybe not
And
start
people were
not liking
going,
him.
huh?
What maybe start not liking him is that he was being a bully to some dude. Dude was like kind of tipsy. You could tell they've been drinking together and everything like that. He was drinking too. He was
Yeah.
live and he was trying to like basically bitch the dude. And dude was like, "Come on, bro. Like we hanging out together. I don't know." Like the confusion on the dude's face because you just drunk and you hanging out with somebody and they turn on you. Like what? The look on his face was like, "What? What's going on?" Like he's like, and dude's like, "Oh, you setting me up. You setting me up." Like I'm like, "Yo, this dude." That's what made me
Yeah.
not start like not
He
liking
needs
him.
therapy. He needs therapy. He never got help for it. He's not getting the feedback from the media and from the law the way he expected to get. He's seeing everybody else getting some kind of justice for their wrongdoings, sexually wrongdoings, and he's not. He even brought up, Puffy and Cassie's case. How come she can get 30 million? What about what happened to him? You see, this is childhood trauma, grew up into his adulthood. Now he's a grown man in age and body, but the mind and the spirit is not.
Here's the thing though, and I'm gonna say it just like this.
They say he's rude to his family, rude to his wife.
Yo, listen, a survivor is somebody who gets through that shit because on some real shit, I never been through it myself, but I've been around people that have. But my advice is get your money up and let that dude go for a walk. And you know what I'm saying, the one that did the shit to you, let him go for that walk that he don't come back from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't go to jail.
The one who did it to Hassan is African Bambata. That's
I
what I'm
know, but
talking
I'm saying don't understand, I'm saying this for everybody.
about.
Listen, don't go to jail because you sat there and like went and did something stupid. But if you think it's worth it, go ahead, handle your business, just deal with the consequences. But if you don't want to deal with that, let them go on that walk that they don't come back from. You know what I'm saying? There's people out here. Get your money up. And yo, literally that's what happens. Like, yo, they go for a walk one day and they just don't come back. And that's it. Like, no nobody know what happens. I don't know what happened. Do you know what happened? I
Hassan
wasn't
can't
there.
Hassan
They just
can't think
decided
like
to go
that.
for a walk. Do you understand where I'm coming from with this?
Of course, but Hassan can't think like that. Hassan is already past rationalization. He wants public justice. He wants media justice, legal justice. He wants it in his way. And until it goes the way he wants it to go, he's never going to get that right healing. There's a
But here's the
particular
shit,
healing
though.
that he needs. And it
But we
ain't just
need it.
something that a
We
therapist
need a
is going to do in
condemnation
one
though.
ear.
We need a condemnation from everybody. Like we need to go one by one to people be like, listen, if somebody is a perpetrator of this type of shit, are they still okay in your book? I don't want to hear a no. Anybody other than like, that because I know that there's some kids like what I'm saying I've seen some stuff in my life too. Like they repeat what they see. So it's like if they're not a child who's just repeating what they see or trying to process what the hell happened to them, and they know better. I mean, yo, there should be no letting shit go. That person that your family trusts and they told you don't talk about it. Tell those people who told you don't talk about it. Tell them to fuck themselves right to their face. You know what I'm saying? Right to their face. It don't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you need to be like, nah. The people who fail to protect people don't deserve protection either. You protecting them by your silence. Don't keep that shit silent. It like
So that's
it
why when you said that you felt like KRS-One should have said more, because a normal response from any human being, whether they in the same industry as this person, or they that was their homeboy at one point in time, or they're still a homeboy, you still supposed to have that response like, and if he did do it, he's dead wrong. I hope he didn't do it, and I'm sorry for the victim, and I hope the victim could get healing so that way they can move on in their life and things like that. But if you just on that, oh, I ain't saying nothing, I ain't saying nothing, because you probably already got your opinion that he didn't do it because he talked to you already and told you he didn't do it. But Hassan out here acting like a straight clown, something triggered that man. He didn't come out of his mother's womb and grew up like that. When
I
whatever
mean,
African Bambaataa was doing to him,
but he ain't the only one though, and that's the shit
and
though.
that's the problem. And that's another thing he was saying. What about me and the other victims? Nobody's doing anything about us. I mean, Bambaataa was on, I think it was a CNN interview saying he didn't do it. Why he wait 30 years and da 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 da.
See, there is another thing though too that I gotta like explain because I actually read their book. I went to Kitty Camp Jail and I read their book about how they groom and how they manipulate and how they basically shame them into not speaking because as a male has a mechanical thing that happens with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not something that's voluntary that you can't do to a woman. You cannot make a woman orgasm no matter what. It don't matter. It has to come from her own mind. All right. But the male, you can push what I'm saying, push on the prostate and force some seminal fluid out. And they'll sit there and they'll tell them, hey, listen, you enjoyed it. Look at this. But that's mechanical. No, you the one who liked it. And they
Yeah.
got them fucked up in their head thinking that
Made me think I like it. Yeah.
if that did happen, maybe like it has the and that makes them feel shame. And now you got these weirdos pushing like, and I'm weird my damn self, so I'm a lot different. But like, I'm not that type of weird where it goes to you sitting there trying to promote the like if you promoting that male G spot shit, like nah, bro, you need to stop that shit. There's no such thing as no male G spot. That is something that is used to manipulate. You get what I'm saying? It's like no men ain't supposed to be getting penetrated. I don't give a fuck. You talk about kink shaming and shit like that. Like nah, bro, that's not straight. Just call shit what it is. You know what I'm saying? Call shit exactly what it is, bro. That's not no.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna say that shit. Like you get mad at me. I'm not
Mhm.
mad at nobody who has a different lifestyle. That's you. You know what I'm saying?
Same
But
here.
don't try
Same
and
here.
like I'm not like I said, I'm not mad at nobody. That's what you
Mhm.
want to do. That's you. What's that?
Exactly.
You see?
Because it might be
Do
some things I do that you don't do and you don't like. So, this thing goes both ways. I'm not walking around here like I'm perfect, but at the same time, if I can show respect for your choice of lifestyle, you need to respect my choice of lifestyle and why I may not agree with everything you do in your lifestyle, just like you might not agree everything that I'm doing in mine.
and
So
it's not based
when we could come
on
to
hate.
that understanding,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm lying. I'm lying. And I say I don't hate anybody. I do hate. Who I hate is predators. Just
No, but
that's
I'm
all.
talking
Don't.
I'm talking on the subject matter that you were saying as far as, people have a freedom to and a choice to be to be who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Do what they want to do. I'm not interjecting on any of that. Now, that's a whole different topic with the pedophiles. Of course, I'm you I don't get there's no other option. There is no compromising, you know? There isn't. And if he happened to do this to Hassan and those other three people that Hassan was talking about, then I feel like after he needs to be brought to the judge, just like anybody else that would have done it, and we would have been trying to get them put in jail.
Okay,
But
big elephant in the room.
it's 30 years ago. African Bambaataa is not going to jail though. Because
But
what do
big
Hassan
elephant in
have
the
to
room
prove?
though.
Do he have pictures? Do he have videos? Do he have recording? He has nothing. All he has is his crazy mind. The
Yo,
justice he's
but
seeking, he can't get it. Too much time
big
has
elephant in the room though, right? Big elephant in the room. These religious folks will be the ones who's really the most ones who's doing the most mind fucking are the ones who's doing all this shit too. And
passed.
they're able to get away with this shit for years and years through generations and everything like that. And raising people that are like, really challenged. I won't say broken because, you know, they were they went through some stuff, they trying to process it and they can't. Like it's harder to process, harder and harder. And then you have people sit there telling you, well, no, this is a good person. This is a good person. Don't you dare say that about that good person. I mean, and that's both sexes too, but it's mainly these
Yeah,
dudes.
yeah.
But these pastors, these pimps, these imams, these whatever you want to call it, temple leaders, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Who like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dudes who be sucking the little baby penises and shit like that. Talk about some old, oh, but it's just part of the ritual. Like, nah, my dude.
Yeah, they think it's a part of the circumcision.
Yeah, we not going for that. We not going for that. Like, yo, I'm like, nah, there's something that like, that has a lot to do with like that there's something. First off, I want to talk about like the fact that that shit's all about power and control, and it's not about sex, it's not about arousal, it's about feeling powerful. You know what I'm saying? Because you ask a lot of survivors of sexual assault and shit like that, they be like, "Oh, did they finish?" They be like, "No, they didn't." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, so what was the point? The point was to hurt you. The point was to take away your power to force something upon you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even the point of them self gratifying in a sexual way. So it's not even about sex. You know what I'm saying? It's just a vehicle through which they use to abuse. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And like, and these are the people who feel as though they're not powerful in their own lives. So they have to, hurt somebody else in order to feel powerful. Let's
Right.
call that shit exactly what it is. When you read their books, like if you read the books that goes through the reasons behind them doing what they do, specifically this type of crime, like, you know what I'm saying? It's violence. You know what I'm saying? So it's misnomered when they say sex crimes. Sex crimes are not even about sex, they're power crimes. They're really about power. It's still violence. I mean, it was really funny that in the kitty camp jail situation, they actually called them SOs, sexual offenders, because the nature of their offense was a sexual thing. But at the end of the day, like I said, when we're talking about the reality of it, the reason why they do what they do is in order to feel powerful. And who do you know, it's in our communities, you know what I'm saying, who are big ups for doing certain shit, like, you know what I'm saying? You sitting here, you manipulating people and taking their money, pimping the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why don't you see that there's a correlation? Like, pigs all the time, they get caught doing the shit that they be doing. Because like I said a long time ago, like, bro, I don't think I could ever be a police officer, because if I ever have a job where it asks me to look at another man's genitals and ask him to separate his penis from his balls, I'm good. No, thank you. Nah, I don't. I don't want to see that shit.
I hear
Fuck
you.
out of here.
I know. I know.
But that being part of your job description, you have to do this. Like, nah,
I
I'm good.
agree. I agree. That job is not
Like,
built for everybody. You're right.
not for me. It's not for me. I can't do it. No, thank you. I don't want to
That's not
see.
a job anybody could do.
I'm saying though, like, why do you want a job where you sit there and you have to say those words out of your mouth? So you mean, you look for somebody, you gonna grab them up, You're gonna search them physically, so you want to touch a man, and then you want to sit there and look at what he has underneath his clothes. Like, come on, now you're describing something that's not straight, and I'm not with it. And it makes it no better if they target females because, like, yo, that's rapist behavior, my dude. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Either way, it turns perverted. That's when the pedophilia starts. It turns
Yeah, but
perverted either way.
and it's like you ask some of them girls that be on the stroll a lot, like they know exactly what it is. Like some of them dudes, they got these weird ass fantasies. They you know what I'm saying? They got paying clients that scared the shit out of them because they're like, yo, listen, why does dude do it like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, you already done paid your money. Why you got to do the extra shit to try to hurt me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, like I've heard some stories in my life, and I'm like, yeah, that motherfuckers definitely did that shit to somebody before. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know?
Yes.
That, come
You
on now.
think
It is something.
Hassan have some truth to what he's saying?
Oh, he definitely has a lot of truth for some of the shit he's been saying, but like what he's doing is he's just he's taking the attention off of what he's really saying, and he's made himself a spectacle, and that's the worst part about it, is that it's taking away from his message. Him being a spectacle is taken away from his message. And once that happens, it's like now people are gonna start questioning the validity of what you're saying, even though what you're saying is true. He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Hmm.
But that he's been doing is taking it away. It's taking away.
From people trying to believe him or show him some compassion, because then he gets combative and aggressive and disrespectful, and then that's when you start questioning: is his story fully true? Is he just crazy? Is he telling some truth and not all the truth when he's probably telling all the truth? But he
Yo,
doesn't
how
give
would
you
you
no
not
room to
become
trust
crazy if
him.
someone took your autonomy? If someone took away the like, because it's still taking away his power to this day. It's still hurting him.
I know,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
It's still hurting him, and it's like I'm not like that. My compassion is there. Like that man is hurt. Like he is hurt. You know what I'm saying? That ain't never gonna go away. I'm never gonna sit here and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe him or nothing. Like I believe that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just imagine what some people who are going through it, who have no platform, is going through on their day to day and keeping it quiet.
when he went to the projects in Bronx River early at 7 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, screaming to nobody, and had bottles thrown at him. you know, I was just done with him at that point. Me and my daughter
Man,
was watching that. I couldn't believe it was real. And he was out there not for 10 minutes, not for 20 minutes. He was out there for a long time. Even
until he
people,
got a reaction.
yeah, well, people was throwing bottles at him from their windows. And he still stayed. And he was running from ducking from the bottles. Then he'll start back up again. And then about hours later, he's in the hospital now.
Man, a lot of people don't
So
survive themselves.
you see Bambaataa, man, he just taking hip hop to another vibration. Just that even being a rumor, even if it is true or not, we'll just leave it as a rumor. All right, it's a rumor. Just that mere fact is a rumor, and he's a part of some of the creation of hip hop, you know, and things like that. He's not the first, but he was there in that very beginning stages. So I just think that also puts it like a disdain, you know,
I mean, there's a lot of situations that like
because now it just proves that not only Puffy's situation everybody should be surprised about. This thing been going on in the hip hop culture for a long time since African Bambaataa.
that's an industry thing
So
anyway.
we can take this
Industry,
back to that. Now we
The
fast forward to
industry,
2023 and it's Puffy and it's somebody else that's in the industry being accused. Look at Puffy right now. He's chopped liver.
yeah, but right now too. But you gotta remember that shit that happened with Russell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because he's
exactly.
been pivotal. But for me, sometimes though, you still gotta always question. Some of these people went up into that thing knowing damn well what they was getting themselves
Thank
into.
you. That's what I'm trying to get with. Yes, that's what I'm alluding to right now. There's no
They
way
do.
at some point in your conscious mind you didn't know what direction this thing was going, and you had a choice to say hell no or hell yeah.
Hmm. No, and
Unless
thing
you,
is like
unless you just that utterly dumb for money.
I just stay to the background. I'm gonna say this.
Because remember, when you
What
don't
I
have
was saying
money
before.
and now you get a chance to get money, you get funny. Money gets
Here's the thing, right?
funny. Yeah.
I've been in situations where I wasn't there officially. You understand me? I never signed an NDA. But these
Hmm.
industry parties is full of a lot of shit that motherfuckers don't want to talk about out in the public. Just full of that shit. There's people who out here you think that they image is really them and they just like that they're only, and I'm gonna say this, they're only the image that they're given because behind closed doors, them motherfuckers is on some different shit. You know, and the industry parties show me some shit. It showed me some shit. Some people will do a lot of different stuff, man. They'll do a lot of different stuff in order to get that limelight. I mean, I'm gonna put it to you this way too. Like some of the industry parties, the only reason why I knew they was happening because the dudes who dress like girls and act like girls was invited to those. And those people ask for party favors. And I'm the type person who usually had those party favors. You understand what I'm saying? Is I don't do
Hmm.
that no more. Where it's like it was a muddy thing for me. Like, listen, and I'm gonna tell you just like this, like them people in them parties, they buy. They buy a lot. They got the money to. And some of the people you'll never see them on TV. You'll never see an article written by them, written about them and none of that stuff. They stay to the background and they finance. There's some people out there, it's like, they're big in the industry behind closed doors only. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And they have certain things that they like to do. And
Yeah,
if you
they're in
don't
a
play,
different class.
if you don't play the game that they want you to play, oh, you ain't blowing up. You ain't gonna make it. That's it. Period. I mean, I mean, I think that there was somebody like there was a barbershop fucking video with dudes sitting there talk about like yo, don't take them drinks. You'll
Hmm.
wake up in the morning talk about some old yeah, we got this tape of you. I'm like, yo, some of them didn't take the drink and find out later. Them dudes went into that room willingly. Understand me. No, everybody didn't become a victim. Like real shit, everybody didn't. Some people did. I'm dead serious. They really did. But if you've been around and you know how the industry works for long enough, and you realize that these people are very, very predatory, then what the hell is you doing in there by yourself? Why, like, know what I'm saying? Even your manager be the one who's setting you up, and it's like
I mean, they
if
may not know at first because of their young age and being immature and not really able to make sound decisions. But when you start repeating things after a while, and you know it's not good for you, you know when to go. You know when to let it go. You know, a lot of them they've been molested for years. You know what I'm saying? In this music industry, look at Usher talking about how Diddy was always trying to come on to him or whatever the case from when he was
yeah,
13, 14, 15. His mom had to go from Chattanooga to New York to get her son to get Usher.
I'm gonna tell you just
He
like
just
this. I don't think
he
he's
keeps
trying
staying
to.
around her. and he bringing him to grown up parties at 13, 14, 15.
I don't
Late
think
at
he was
night
trying.
when he should have been in the bed, he hanging out with Puffy and Mary J. Blige and whoever else would be at those Puffy's big elaborate parties, you know?
Hmm. I don't think he was trying. I think he succeeded. You understand me?
Really? Probably did.
It, it was really messed up. Is that like when you know that when you get to a certain point, like why you keeping your mouth shut? Like real shit. Like I know you signed the NDA and all that other shit like that, but when you get to a certain amount of money and stuff like that, especially knowing that even if you are highly monitored, there's always a way to get around some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was laughing my ass off with when they said they talk about Kid Cudi's fucking car getting blow up and shit like that because somebody I don't want to say no names or nothing like that, but like Kid Cudi got his ass beat one time by somebody that I know because he decided to smoke where he wasn't supposed to be smoking at. You know,
Hmm.
it's like yo, dude was playing a fucking a game, my dude. Like when you know when that dude like wore that dress, I just like I was good because before I was like I was fucking with him. But then he decided to come out there and talk about, oh, he did it because of Kurt Cobain. What? Nah, you know you didn't, bro. No, you didn't, bro. You wore that dress for a reason, my dude.
He wore it because he wanted to wear it.
We know what the reason was. Come on now.
Because
They
a
told
lot
him
of
you
them
ain't.
turned it down. There's ones that said no, so he could have said no the same exact way. But that's what he wanted to do.
Yo, it's like, come on now. And it's like, yo, I don't even want to talk about the fact that like a lot of these people, some of them are related to each other and they know what's up. Like when you when you figure out the names behind certain shit. But it's funny how Sparkle, I'm gonna use Sparkle as an example. You know what Sparkle looked like. She looks like a little girl. That girl looked like she is still a child to this day. She's tiny. She resembles a child. You know that she was fucking around with this dude. And then when the situation happened with her niece, or she put it out there. But then she got some money and she came right back with that story about nah, I didn't say that. It was nothing like that. Nah, you got paid. You got paid. And that's what that was about. But one of the really fucked up things about in that industry, people develop habits, and them habits are expensive. So like, when people are still in that addiction cycle, they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna say whatever they can in order to get what they need to get. You know, it just, I mean, and that's part of the game too. The blackmail game is real. They're like, listen, man, I put this out there. There's
Yeah.
a risk of you sit there and say you'll put something out there and then you just don't get seen no more. You know what I'm saying? But in all actuality, that's a choice to pay them. You know what I'm saying? That's a choice to pay them because they're
Hmm.
like, they might have something put over to the side, and if anything happens to them, that information gonna get out regardless. And there's a risk that you shut them down, and it's just gonna add validity to exactly what they were saying. Like, oh, kind of funny, they said this, and then this happened. Just like everybody talk about Kimora Lee's house burning right after she said some shit. Like, listen, it may not even be connected, but now it's a question of, hmm, wasn't nothing going on before. She said this about so and so. Now, what I'm saying, tragedy befalls them. Or maybe, what I'm saying, because people are looking at it as, let's say she even did it herself. I'm not saying that she did. Let's say she did it herself. People are still going to question, yo, this happened right after she said that. Maybe they had something to do with it because they do have reach because of their power and the money that they have. and you know that there's thirsty ass people out here who do fucking a bunch of deviant ass bullshit for a fucking a quick, you know what I'm saying, a quick little bit of money real quick. People are in desperate situations, so yeah, you know what I'm saying. And
Mm-hmm.
don't even have to be a significant amount of money. Sometimes people like, I just want to be close to somebody famous, you know,
Exactly.
because it makes themselves look important, you know, and they'll ride off of that fact. I mean, it's people I've been in the same room with that I'll never mention. I ain't gonna say shit. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reason why I was like, when I was doing what I was doing, my lips are forever sealed. I ain't never gonna tell nobody's business. But I'm gonna tell you just like this: that business is full of those people that do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just one of those facts that you can't escape. You know what I mean, they don't, even if they ain't doing certain shit themselves, or they around it, they see it happening, but they know to keep their fucking mouth shut. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, that's come on now. Like what was funny is that I call her little cuz, but she played the girl in that thing that happened with Tupac. Tupac was never accused of doing nothing sexual to the girl. She said herself it was some other dudes. I did what I wanted to do with him. Then afterwards, these dudes did this and that and the other to me. Right? You ever watch that case? You ever see the case? The shit that fucking Tupac got found guilty for, and
Yeah, I
people was
remember
trying.
this movie.
She was willing to go with him. She initiated that contact with him. She only wanted to mess with him. Them other dudes, after he was asleep, did what they did with her. And she said they're basically saying, like, well, he wasn't doing it, they were. And he
Right.
made the point. He's like, yo, it's funny as hell, right? The only reason why I'm in here is because I'm Tupac. Like, you know what I'm saying? What he was basically telling me was like, yo, he didn't tell on them dudes. He kept his mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
He kept his mouth shut. None of them dudes was fucking charged. But look who they starting to mention now. Because he said it in a song about a snitch named Haitian Jack. Remember?
Yes.
He said the song, he didn't say it in no paperwork or nothing like that. But that dude was out there doing the extorting and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who know what's up and all this other shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even tell on like when he was still going through that shit and they stuck, like, it wasn't even just a stick up. They was trying to kill him. How you still wearing your fucking watch? How you still wearing your rings and shit? Like, if you know stick up kids, them motherfuckers go straight for the shit that they want.
Yeah.
They get it the fuck up off of you. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Especially if it's visible too. I can see your watch. They can see the ring.
So when they popped him up, he didn't tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's why he started sitting there saying, like, yo, this is them motherfuckers. We go to the same studio. Them dudes set me up. It had to been them. And then and even in their interviews, they sounded guilty as shit when they was just like, yo, he came in there flipping on us. Like, we didn't know what was up. We didn't know what was going on, bro. Like, they'll profess too much. Yo, real shit. Him and fucking Big was like actually cool with each other at one point in time. And he was like, yo, bro, like, yo, you know, he's like, yo, this dude switched up on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he felt the way he felt. Because remember, he didn't go straight to the hospital. He went back upstairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Them motherfuckers had to make him go to the hospital. He could have died.
Mm-hmm.
Them motherfuckers was not trying to rob him. They definitely, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they just wasn't good at what they was doing. Like they hit him up. They definitely did. But it's like that shit, he's probably not supposed to make it out of that. You understand me? And he implicated motherfuckers like on record. He didn't go to the police to say all that shit, you know? But and people would sit there and say, like, yo, he was snitching in them songs. He was snitching in them songs. Did he name the person who hit him? He's just saying these motherfuckers right here set me up. You know?
Mm-mm-mm. That is a shame. Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, what was really funny though too is that people been talking about this shit lately. That dude sit there talk about he was there. Like, yo, that dude been a
Oh,
rat. Keefy D been a fucking rat, man. He been a snitch. Like he been working there.
right.
He been out there telling.
You know, he's absolutely being used as bait for real.
Yeah, but some of us already know what really happened. Like the real shit. Like you know, them motherfuckers used to wear badges. Understand me?
Hmm.
And it's like the way that they keep trying to flip up the affiliation of who it was and try to say it was the other side when it was really like that's part of Coin. Yeah, I feel like that's part of COINTELPRO too because that shit never died. COINTELPRO is still alive and well. Don't ever get it fucked up.
That's
And
right.
that shit, it didn't just happen. Oh, they got rid of the Panthers. COINTELPRO don't exist no more. Nah, that shit's
Right.
still that shit's still alive and well. Um, Hip Hop Police was
I
right
put
there.
it like this. Put it like this. If Keefy D is guilty, so is LAPD. Because the FBI been watching Tupac and Biggie before they got killed. So if when they passed away, when they were murdered, you mean to tell me they've been watched for so long? They don't know who killed who?
The ones who did it was LAPD. Get
Thank you.
that through your head correct.
So if
Listen,
Keefy D go to jail, then LAPD needs to go to jail right along with him because you baited him in to help you do these murders in the first place. He was already watching them and stalking Biggie and Tupac. The FBI was already watching them anyway.
listen,
So you mean to
just
tell me
like
all the time you watching him, you happen to miss who killed him? So where were you at that day? Out of all the days you watching them, please
am I
mm,
frozen? I'm frozen. Can you
keep
still hear
it.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, but I'm frozen.
Right, I see you. You're looking up to the sky.
Nah, it's probably because of what I said. It was LAPD, like real shit. The motherfuckers was officers, like real shit. Like let's
Mhm.
call it what it is. Motherfuckers who actually pulled the fucking triggers is police,
Mhm.
and they know it. Just like with Malcolm X, like yo, they tried to blame the NOI. You know what I'm saying? All guys for real. And you still got people to this day sitting there saying, "Hey, yo, the dudes who did, they still live in New Jersey." Like, nah, them brothers was known throughout the prisons that they didn't do that shit. You think dudes was gonna sit there and let them live, knowing that they did that to Malcolm X? Come on now. Meanwhile, Larry Davis, you know who that is. He got killed by a fucking white boy in prison.
Mhm.
Come on now. That's funny as hell to me. And this dude is claiming a certain affiliation, bruh. Like they just trying to throw dirt on our name, and that's really what it is. There's a whole smear campaign going on. It's like Vlad, like you know what I'm saying. Who said it to his face? He's like, "Yo, bro, you part of the fucking you culture vulture. Like you, he the police himself. He a rat. Like yo, he getting people to implicate themselves and shit. He's encouraging them to talk about shit that you ain't supposed to be talking about, and motherfuckers is falling for it.
Right.
I'm gonna refresh this shit. Hold on, because this shit's annoying.
Okay.
All right, I'm moving again. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right.
So, what do you think about this origins of breakdancing?
You know what the shit is? We
Now that
breakdance ain't
now
something
the
we.
next argument with that is Puerto Ricans created that.
Yeah, and let me get. Yo, listen. Breakdancing and parkour have kind of like the same runnings. And the reason why they call it parkour instead of free running. Um, that free running thing is like something that we was doing. That breakdancing shit is something that we've been doing. Um, you look at like some of the rituals that happen when people strike up, and if you understand what I'm about to say, you strike up. Crump, when people are doing crump, everything like that, those
Right.
moves and even the explanation of people striking when they finally get like that is definitely of like native and African origins. Like you were not telling me that that came from people who they have a little bit of that. Like you know what I'm saying. Let's call it like because they do have some indigenous. You know what I'm saying in them. You know what I'm saying. Specifically
Right.
like that comes from that culture. But at the same time, I'm gonna sit there and say this shit. We've been back and forth between the continents way before European even knew what a boat was. There's
Mm.
always been a mixing and melding in between us. And it's kind of funny, like, cause you know, they the first ones who sit there when they get mad. If you're a darker of hue, they gonna be like, "Oh, you was a slave." Like that's not where our origin started.
Sure
You know what
didn't.
I'm saying? Like we didn't
And it's
start off as
always
no,
been like that.
but like I said, when they get mad, that's the first thing they say too. You know, and then when they want to capitalize off of it, they be like, "Oh yeah, we was part of it. We we did." Yo, listen, you gotta remember when, or I remember back in the day, had certain Hispanic people, they didn't dress like us. They be like, "Yo, listen, you like, you know what I'm saying?" And they used to sit there and call our shit jungle music, and they used to fucking pump their shit louder. Like, cause remember back in the day, matter of fact, and do the right thing in real life. But like on do the right thing, you had Dutta Man, what do you call it? What's his name? They because they could Radio Raheem.
Hmm.
He, he turned up his music, and the dudes turned up their music. Then he turns up his music. That's
Right.
real in real life. We was doing that shit on like for real though, like
Yeah,
out
that
there.
really happens. Hmm.
That's really what we was doing out here. It's like in my block where I'm from, it's Cape Verdeans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, black people. You know what I'm saying? We got a little area over here, Panamanians. We got a lot of Hondurans. You know what I'm saying? Like the Garifuna Hondurans, and we got the other Hondurans, the Cathacha Hondurans, and even they don't even get along with each other because like they on some bullshit. But like within the different cultures and shit like that,
And
like because I
so
remember
you
I
got these
met.
inside tribal differences.
It's like yo, there's colorism in every daggone society, in
Hmm.
in every culture. There's colorism, and sorry, can't blame white folks for that. We started that. The caste system started with us. We did that. You know what I'm saying? We gave them undue status due to their skin color because of our self hatred. And let's call that shit what it is. Because them motherfuckers really don't have no power. That's why I don't call none of them no supremacists because ain't shit supreme about them. They have an inferiority complex because they recognize and they realize they missing something. And it's more than just melanin. And I'm gonna just say that. Anyway, with that said, I've had people
Mhm.
darker than me. I know black. I know black. You black. And me know I know black. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you
Oh,
mean you
wow.
not black? You darker than me, motherfucker. What the fuck you mean you not black?
Mm.
But that's in their what do you call it? It's in their culture. I mean, And to this day, like the biggest selling places where there are skin lightening and whitening freaking creams and shit like that is in Africa and in the Caribbean.
I know. Nigeria and Jamaica are the two highest in the world for skin
Sadly,
bleaching.
you know. And meanwhile, and I try to tell people this shit too. Everybody on the continent ain't blue black. We vary in shade everywhere we are.
Oh yeah.
It ain't it ain't due to a mixture sometimes if somebody's a little bit lighter. So when they sit there, the Africans try to sit there and be like, oh no, you now you people, you not Africans because them people had you over there and y'all people been mixed. It's like, yo, within their tribes too, it's kind of funny. You find in them, they're mixed with different in different tribes too. But what's funny about them and their tribalism, they view different tribes as different whole races. Because everybody black over there. They just don't call themselves black because everybody's black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, I'm not black. I'm this tribe. I'm from here. These are my people. Then you find out down the line, like, yo, someone way down the line was from another tribe, and they'd be like, what? Oh, damn. I mean, what? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, because if that was true, I mean, there's a lot of people out there. That'd be a lot of incest, my dude. A whole lot of incest if you only stayed to one tribe all the time. I mean, it like even in royal customs, it's like uh, um the intermarrying was done in order to make sure that the saying the line stayed like or the alliances stayed good because it's like yo, if my daughter lives with you and your daughter lives with me, I'm less likely to come and do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
I'm about to have a family bloodline through them. And specifically through daughters, because daughters like carry that mitochondria, and it's like, yo, the whole land itself is a woman, my dude. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not you. I'm not calling you my dude, but like the dudes who be trying to project that bullshit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like the dudes who try to project that, like, the man rules. Like, nah, we had a matriarchal society, and matriarchy is not based on women just rule and they make all the rules and everything like that. Like, pump your brakes because that's not what it is. It's more like a democracy thing where everybody's voice matters as long as it makes sense. So it don't matter what your body parts are. Are you making sense? And who did you come from? You
Exactly.
know, and your mother mattered more than your father because the father could run around and have kids with everybody. You know what I'm saying? The father,
Hmm.
and that's why with Shaka, with his whole situation, it's like, yo, his mother was of low status. With Shaka Zulu, like when that
Yeah.
situation happened, his mother was of low status. Yeah, his father was a king. The king was like, well, shit, well, your mother, she ain't of royal status, so we ain't gotta recognize you. So in other words, he was being made fun of because moms had an OnlyFans. I'm just fucking around. I'm just I'm talking
Oh,
shit.
you crazy.
I'm talking shit. Like, but anyway, his mother wasn't of royal status. She wasn't a standing, so they didn't
Ah,
recognize him
right,
as
right,
legit.
exactly. But he still came on top at the end, you know?
Exactly because he came up with innovation. Like, you know what I'm saying? He sat there and switched up how the weapons was used and how they did their warfare. Like he was like, yo, fuck all this little pageantry shit. We banging for real. But this we gonna stop all these games here. All this dancing around shit ain't what it is. Motherfuckers is leaking today. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's like the only problem was like when he unified everybody, he was like, listen, we gotta take out this threat over here. That's why they tried to make him. They tried to like in the movies. They tried to make it seem like he was working with the enemy.
Yeah, I know.
Why are they trying to make it seem like he was working with the enemy when he was slaying them?
Yeah.
Other
You
people
know,
was
they
like,
never
yo,
look
we
at me and tell the truth. That's why. It always got to come with some lie mixed with a little truth. You know?
because they was scared. They're like they too powerful. They got too many. They got weapons that can hit you from far away. And he was like, yo, I don't care about none of that shit. We still gonna fight. I don't care. You know. That's like that's why it's so dangerous. Like that's why so many people even use the name Zulu. Like ain't like people ain't even descended from those Zulus by like real shit. They're not descended from those Zulus. It's the spirit that he brought about. But it's like us people here in America, like what I'm saying, sit there calling themselves Zulus. They know that they don't have bloodlines going there, you know. But it's the spirit that he had of fighting, even though the odds are against you and winning still. For every rebellion that we did here on this land too, the odds was against us because we were outnumbered. But we still, like, what I'm saying, triumphed. And that's the thing that they're not gonna put in the history books either, is that both sides was losing way too many men. They was just disappearing. Like they're not marked as killed, they just missing. You understand me?
Right.
Why are they missing? What happened to them? yo, because in the real sense of things, like they were getting taken out. Both
Mm.
sides was getting taken out, and they said, "Listen, this war is not sustainable. When we fighting each other, we have to figure out a way other than what we've been doing." Because in all actuality, they really didn't want to fight each other because they were like, "Listen, there was no freaking pink people up here. Like, you know what? I believe in slaves being so free so much that I'm gonna go and kill and die for it." They didn't give a fuck about us. Get the fuck out of here. That's true.
Hmm.
This shit's still the way it is right now. So
Hmm.
all that you need to be thanking a white person. They went and killed and died for you, using their words. I'm not thinking no pink people that signed up for a war for money, because that's what they went for. To this day, a lot of people who sign up to go and be part of the armed forces is because really they have no resources, and this is the way that they're going to get out of the situation that they're in. So they're going to sign up for the armed forces because they have different benefits that go for them. That ain't changed either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of them, when they come home and they try to get those benefits, they end up out in the streets because the VA be like, "Fuck you. We don't care if you got some PS, whatever the fuck you want. You got a PS5. Who cares? That ain't even the right, letters, but like PSTD is real. They used to call it show shop back in the day. People see
Right.
some shit, go some shit, and it's like, yo, they can't turn off the program that they was given, to go to that war. And now they have to deal with regular everyday people, and you wondering why they wilding out. They done
Hmm.
seen some shit they couldn't unsee.
Exactly.
Come on now. They done participated in some shit that's fucking with they heart inside of them. You know what I'm saying? They turn suicidal. They want to do self-harm. You know? They want to escape the memories of the shit that they've seen and done. And you know what I'm saying? And the fucking vet, they're like, well, listen, do these paperwork right here. And then every so often they'll fuck around with their check, and they be like, yo, listen, where's my money at? They'd be like, well, oh, okay, you must have did something wrong. You must have did something wrong. Not we fucked up, let me fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But oh, there's something you're not understanding here. You know, they get threatened with prison if they sit there and they start talking about someone like, listen, I'm gonna start telling people what really happened out there. And they be like, well, listen, we'll just lock you up in a loony bin, say that you crazy. I mean, because come on now, we got you marked down as PTSD anyway. So, we'll just lock you up and you'll never be seen again. And we'll just say that you went crazy. You think that's not really happening?
I know.
Come on now.
Trust me.
They're checking people with shit that makes them go psychotic, like literally. Matter of fact, Oh, I know you don't watch TV like that, but I know you've seen some of these ads pop up, right? And this is where they fucked up. At one point in time, before they did the lobby, prescription drugs was never even allowed to do advertisements to the public. You know that there was actually a restriction on like
Mhm.
because I used to get hundreds in civics, so I like I know how the system works. So
Mhm.
it was actually against the law to have these pharmaceutical companies do advertisements at one point in time. You know, they knew what they was talking about when they did that. But nowadays, you sit there, you see these pharmaceutical company advertisement, and then you hear the low voice in the back may cause suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Like thoughts, self harm. You may not be able to go to sleep. You might shit sideways. Like you know, what I'm saying? They sit there and say all this crazy shit that's gonna happen as a side effect to these daggone drugs and shit like that. So they know that these drugs is causing these freaking. And what do? Well, you know what? Because this drug is causing this side effect, we're going to give you another drug to counteract the side effect of that. And then that drug also has side effects. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, just like the record industry, every single time someone fills up their script, the doctor gets a royalty. Just like every time you get a sale, an official sale with
Right.
your record company, you
Right.
get a portion.
Mhm.
But it's like, and those reps go into what do you call it, into hospitals, and they're like, listen, they got to get the sales. Like, hey, how about start prescribing my drug a little bit more often? You know, hey, cut, we gonna take you out to dinner, and some of them like straight it down, like it's straight up prostitution happening. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hey, you've been working all hard and stuff, doctor. Like, come get some of this real quick. Hey,
Mm-mm-mm.
while we're here, why don't you sign right here to start selling some of our stuff? Like that's real life happening. I'm not making it up. But like you know what I'm saying? And they get a what do you call it? A royalty every time someone fills out their script.
Mhm.
Direct result of this do advertising and shit like that, and then them being absolved of all responsibility and most of the freaking stuff where they're not even held responsible if somebody has ill effects or becomes addicted or anything like that. They'd be like, well, listen, you signed the paper said that you knew that addiction was part of the side effects, so you can't sue me, you
Right.
know? So they have a whole insulate. That's why we have this fucking opioid crisis right now. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the gateway drug was written in a script, in a prescription. Street shit is cheaper, it works better, and, you know what I'm saying? And you know, now it's even worse because there's no stigma to being a freaking addict anymore, right? They're like, have
Yeah.
compassion now, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I remember there was a time when if you did have to take um, some type of medication dealing with your mental nerves and things, you would have to still go see a therapist. It wasn't just straight medicine. You had to do some kind of talk therapy or,
mhm.
you know, trance therapy. You had your options, your choices, whatever your healthcare could pay for. But you had to go through some form of that type of person to person because the pill ain't gonna kick it, you know.
There's
It's
actually
just
like
temporarily.
there's two different schools of thoughts: it's psychiatry and psychology.
Mhm.
Psychology is when you're talking to somebody. That's psychology. You know what I'm saying? But the psychiatrist is saying there's actually a chemical imbalance, and if we can fix the chemical imbalance with some chemicals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not even been proven. It's just still a theory. All right.
Mhm.
But some people will come back and be like, yeah, listen, because what happens sometimes is like, yo, they burn out your synapses so bad by giving you an upper that when now you no longer hyper because your body's no longer producing the shit that made you hyper in the first place that was overproducing because they done burnt it out. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
is really crazy. You know, and people who are trying to treat pain with something that numbs your pain, like, it becomes more painful when you have something that now you're chemically dependent on. You're chemically dependent on this thing. So now your initial problem probably doesn't even exist anymore. What you have is withdrawal from what they put you on. You know what I'm saying? So that causes you pain because you no longer have it in your system. And it takes a time to step down from that. But what they've been doing is like, oh, we'll just give this to you, and like instead of that, and then to telling you, which is a lie. Oh, this is gonna stop you. It's gonna have a blocker in it to keep you from getting high on the other stuff. You ask somebody who does drug, they could be like, "That's bullshit. I take
Exactly.
that shit," and then
And still you're
I
using
go,
drugs.
yeah, and I still go like, yeah, I'm still getting high on the other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll tell you like that's bullshit. Meanwhile, in Canada, they won't freaking, the FDA will not approve it. They go and they can go get 2 shots and it stops the addiction. But
Really?
they ain't gonna approve it here. And, like I said, what we need to do is just start taking busfuls of people to get that treatment and bring them back.
And
You
you only
know.
can go to Canada and do it?
Well, the thing is, the other alternative, you know, what I'm saying, the other alternative is just like, hey, listen, just how they get that illegal shit here. Why not get that shit here to help people? It'll benefit people better.
Because they ain't gonna make no money with everybody being well and thinking, healthy, making better decisions, cutting their money market out.
I mean, because that's what it is. It's about money, ain't it? Ain't back to the original thing about it. So, the people who was out there doing the shit that they was doing, you think that they was just like, you know what? Selling drugs is great, man. I love it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what I want to do forever. There's nobody out there saying that shit. They do it because they have to, because there's no other options, or there's very limited options, or the options that's out there have them taking more losses than being their own boss and figuring it out for themselves. And it's
Hmm.
like, and nobody else is presenting them with another industry that they could be their own boss with. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, how many business owners came to your career day when you went to school to tell you, hey, I run my own business? Because career day is more like get a job day, because there's not really careers that come through there that sit there and tell you, well, okay, you get this learning, you teach. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, and you can expand to being an owner. Like, the owners usually don't even go into the schools like that to show people, hey, listen, here's how I broke into my thing. Because some of them owners didn't even complete school. They said, fuck this school shit. I'm gonna make money. And I'm gonna tell you something. A dude sat there and told me like a long time ago. He was like, listen, I inherited my company from my illiterate father who didn't even know how to read. He sent me to school. And then when I stopped going to school and told him I wanted to run my own business, he said, fine, I'll give you money. But here's the thing, you better take your ass back to school so that you're not being cheated by the people you hire, because I've hired people that have cheated me because they know I don't know this shit. So his son is gonna go to get that education. What the hell happened?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing.
Oh, okay. But his son is gonna go get that education so that he can make sure nobody's robbing the company. So it's like 3 generations. That illiterate person who knew how to hustle, didn't even know how to read, just hired somebody to do the reading for him. But he had the business already going. You know what I'm saying? And then the son after him, he's like, listen, I don't want you to be stupid because I know people have been playing me. I'm not stupid. I'm just not able to read this, but I know that they're jerking me, but there's nothing I can really do about it. I want to prevent you from being in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
and then he instilled this shit in his son. He's like, listen, you're taking over this company. Period. I don't give a fuck about all that other bullshit you want to do. Go ahead, go do all that, but get your education. So, because when I hand you this fucking company, we're gonna keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who started the freaking companies didn't even have education. They just had a business sense. They just knew how to work people. Man. Hmm.
So, all right. So, um, let's kind of go back more on the hip hop thing and the graffiti
What,
part of it.
what this is, it's a cash
Graffiti
cow.
and with the graffiti and breakdance.
It's a cash cow for them. It's something that, because trust me, if it wasn't making them money, they wouldn't have been doing it. They would have still been calling it jungle music. Um, so explain to me, if it came from your culture, why wasn't parts of your culture in it? Why didn't you bring some of that stuff into it? Why is it not represented in it? Because anything I create is going to have part of my culture in it, right?
Yeah.
That not a you're just not a creator.
And that's what some of the elder founders of hip hop were saying in their interviews, that you would see some of their Puerto Rican or Jamaican expression within it if it started out being theirs or they helped create it. You would see some kind of Spanish flair, Puerto Rican flair, Jamaican flair. It's not. He's like, we was wearing British Walkers and Clarks and, you know, Adidas and blah blah blah. None of that presence is there.
Adidas would never have blown up the way that it did if it wasn't for Run DMC. Let's call that shit
Mhm.
exactly what it is. Black people would not be wearing Adidas like that if it wasn't for hip hop culture. It's a German company. Adidas and like okay, Adidas and Puma were both by two brothers. All right, it was funny like the resurgence of Puma being hot again is why who who made it hot again? We take something that's obscure and very small and minimal, and we'll turn it into something like everybody wants now, and they know that. That's why they exploit our like you can't even watch a commercial without our slang in it, and without some sort of like booming beat on it now.
Mhm.
Like even the like shoot, even the Christmas commercials, it ain't jingle bells. It's bass boots and jingle bells.
Mm.
You know,
Exactly.
I'm just saying though, like it man. Someone's
Right.
mad at my comment on Facebook. Someone's mad at my
Uh,
comment on Facebook. So it said, "What would you do if this man was outside your door?" And it's you know who it is. I think you've seen this before, right? I'm gonna cover it up, but
no, who is
hold
that?
up. It said, if this man was at your door,
I can't really see how the man look, but he looks, he got glasses or something.
no, who is that?
I don't know. I can't make his face.
You can't tell who this is. Come on now. What are you
Mm-mm.
watching? What are you looking from it?
I can't make his face. It's like a glare.
Hold on, because I had
But
it
who
right
is it?
until
But who is it anyway?
whole bomber,
Obama?
whole bomber, whole bomber. Yeah, So it's that
Obama will
fool.
never be knocking at my door.
So they said, what would you do if this man was outside your door? So I said, tell him to go fuck himself. And somebody's mad.
Hmm.
Yo, the reason why I call him Whole Bomber, he created, not created, but carried out AFRICOM. Um, he was bombing Yemen, one of the blackest places in the Arabian Peninsula. You know, like those people are dark skinned. They like dark as I am. Some darker than me, but like they were trying to sit there and call them the blacker people terrorists. Since when did Yemen have anything to do with any of the fucking terrorist shit? Like when?
Right.
You know, we man, like we gotta call shit what it is. Them people have done a lot of false flag shits. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are helping them carry out those fat false flags and some of the shit that they've been doing for real though did not look like us.
Mm.
And even though remember those commercials they were sitting there talking about if you're buying weed from someone you might be funding terrorism. Like what?
Wow.
Since when? Since when? Like they tried to like make us hate Arab people. They try to make us hate Arab people. Like even though we have an ancient issue with them, like
Hmm.
saying, they still hate us because we love everybody, right?
Right.
Shit, we love everybody but
Exactly.
us. That's the problem. But
We love everybody, but everybody ain't really loving us.
but they try to make us hate the Arab people. They try to make us hate them. They try to make them hate the Islamic religion. They tried to like, you know what I'm saying? It was like they was terrorizing those people. They was terrorizing the Arab people, not the other way around.
Hmm.
But like I said, we got an ancient beef, a beef that started way before they even had a you know what I'm saying a situation. I mean, some of them come from us, like real shit. Some of them, not all of them, but real deal. Some of their freaking culture actually came from us too. Like and they're big buyers of a lot of our cultural stuff of hip hop. You can still to this day in certain places like they wear tracksuits. Who was
Hmm.
wearing tracksuits before that?
Hmm.
Before hip hop culture, when were tracksuits a fashion statement?
Right.
I mean,
Hmm.
real deal, like certain brand names, like back in the day, like brand names used to be small. It just used to be something like if you wanted to look for it, you could find it. Like, oh, this is nice. What brand name is it? Nowadays, and Dapper Dan was part of that shit. Let's call it like you know what I'm saying. Dapper Dan did his shit. He was taking their brands and making it bigger and bolder and emblazing it and more colorful and like making it more prominent and repeated. That's the shit he was doing. And then it was really stupid now is that before they was calling us ghetto and saying that's some bullshit. Now they're hiring knockoff um Dapper Dans who use basically his style that he created, that he innovated, and they're hiring those people instead of Dapper Dan himself, who's still alive, to be a consultant on this shit and making these people millionaires instead of him. Meanwhile, they shut down his shop for copyright infringement. But then they do the same thing that he did, where they
Mm-mm.
hire someone else to do his style. Right? Come on now. Come on now.
Mm-mm.
That's big in the hip hop culture. Am I bullshitting?
I know.
Like, come on, that like name brands wouldn't be as big and emblazoned as they are now if it wasn't for Dapper Dan and the hip hop style of showing off. Yo, this is what I got. The only problem with that is for me is that people didn't create their own brands and do it just as like you know what I'm saying. you gave them more notoriety than you did to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It is like, and half of the time, those people aren't even giving endorsements. Tommy Hilfiger, though. Tommy Hilfiger was one of those who definitely capitalized on, like, they're like, listen, we'll dress you head to toe, just wear our shit. That's how they blew up. They're going to find a hip hop artist that's about to go on a TV show. You'll wear our shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep dressing you. And then people was trying to sit there and say that he was racist and stuff like that. Um, I just say like he I don't think he's racist. I think that he is definitely one of those people who takes full advantage of the fact that we are consumers. We're the biggest consumers.
Mm. Tell me about it. Consume, but no producing.
And that's my problem is that yo, produce your own shit. Like to this right now, I want my own equipment. I want my own equipment. Yo, I get my own equipment. I can do more of this. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Like this my pattern, and I sat there and I repeated my pattern and I did it. And it's like my only problem is it's white in the inside. You know, like yo, I took so many things that I'm doing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put them together. Like my phone is full of stuff, full of stuff. I mean, play with it all day. I mean, I even sat there and took. I don't know if you know the you have an iPhone, so you know the Memoji. You know you can dress that thing. You can change the different colors. You can have more than one Memoji. You know what I'm saying? Have you done that with your phone yet? You there? Must have stepped away to do something. Thought we was having a conversation. You want to leave me hanging? Hmm. Let me know when you get back, man. Mhm. All right, then. You done sat there, walked off, trying to have a conversation because I don't see you moving at all. Got me on mute and stuff. But anyway, my only issue within our culture is that we, um, I'm gonna say this though. Um, Heavy D was definitely a big influence. That dude, like you know, what I'm saying, I think he was Jamaican, but he was definitely a heavy influence. But within the community, he actually stopped using Heavy D and started doing Heavy D because the the label owned Heavy D, as in the name and the image and likeness, and like he signed a fucked up contract, and that's why I don't believe that he died natural. Excuse me, I don't believe he died in natural causes. By himself, that was rude. Um, he was talking about having his own clothing line before Biggie. He was definitely like, you know what I'm saying, one of those people who was talking about ownership. Hold on a second. Anyway, forget where I was. Whoa, that was weird. So yeah, I'm about to get off of this in a second. Where you at? Can't be too long with some dead air. And for me, this is a dialogue, so I'm not like. I mean, I could talk for a minute about certain stuff, but at the end of the day, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm asking questions, I mean, you back yet? Because I just heard some feedback. Yeah, so in a little bit, I'm about to just bang off on this, and I say my only issue is this: within certain communities, people are giving more credit to outside things rather than going back within and going back into the culture itself because it don't make no sense. Why should there be millions or even billions of dollars built off of our backs and we just gave it to them? I mean, people will come in, not even being about that life, capitalizing off of it, and then moving on, talk about how they're above what made them their money. They are. So, end of the day, um, how many hip hop clubs are there in Jamaica? I know there's reggae clubs. I know there's dance hall clubs. I know there's different like traditional like bars and all that other good stuff like that. There's tourist destinations, all that other stuff like that. Um, you have historic birthplaces of certain people recognized there in Jamaica and in Puerto Rico. Um, because for the most part, they mimic the style and the dress, and even reggaeton was started because of rap, which is not even reggae, not even resembling reggae. It's more of a cadence. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we created that, like a repetitive thing. And it's like sometimes can't listen to it for too long. You know, next they're gonna sit there and say they made bounce music, and we know daggone well bounce music is more like a southern in a New Orleans type situation. You only listen to that for so long too. You know, but heavily influenced by hip hop, R&B stuff. All stuff that we created. You know, and people even rap in other languages. Like what I'm saying, it's funny as hell. You hear somebody, you hear the beat and everything like that. Okay, that beats what's up, and then you hear like, yo, I don't understand what the hell they saying. But oh shit, they got rap in their own language. That ain't hip hop though. That's just like they're using a style. That's not something they live. You know what I'm saying? Different cultures. So I end it. on my end, and I'm gonna quote Karis One, where he said there said, "Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live." I'm off of this.
Line in mode. Line in mode. Line in mode. Line in mode. Line in mode.
Where you at?
What? When?